My recollection is that I certainly had not made any final determinations about who we were going to call.
And that's the point. That is the point. The fact that they used her in a primetime hearing and you won't rule out using her, or didn't rule out using her, putting her on the witness stand when everybody knows she wasn't telling the truth, that says it all. That's the degree the left and Democrats were willing to go to get President Trump, putting on the witness stand someone everybody knows is making it up.
Was the January 6th committee's star witness telling the truth or repeating secondhand rumors? Lawmakers just revealed that Secret Service agents in the vehicle disputed her story, and prosecutors themselves questioned whether her testimony could even be used in court. So why was she featured in a primetime congressional hearing watched by millions? What came out in this exchange raises serious questions about how the investigation was presented to the American public. Let's break it down.
President lunged across the back seat, grabbed the steering wheel, tried to drive the car to the Capitol. And I just want to know, you think she was lying?
Chairman Jordan, my assessment of that particular issue is that with respect to the testimony about the president lunging towards the driver, my recollection of her testimony about that is that it was secondhand. She had said she'd heard that from somebody.
You familiar with the name Tony Ornato?
I'm sorry?
You familiar with the name Tony Ornato?
Yes.
White House Deputy Chief of Operations, Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations, right? You remember what he said about it?
As I sit here right now, I do not.
Yeah, he said it didn't happen. How about Bobby Engel? You familiar with that name?
Yes, I am.
Secret Service agent who was actually in the car that day. You know what he said? He said it didn't happen. And they both said the first time they ever heard this story was when Ms. Hutchinson testified in the primetime hearing as their star witness of the January 6th committee. By the way, did you ever confirm her testimony about this particular incident?
A tense exchange during a congressional hearing is raising new questions about one of the most talked about witnesses from the January 6th investigation, Cassidy Hutchinson. During questioning, lawmakers pressed Special Counsel Jack Smith's office about whether Hutchinson's testimony could actually be verified. And the focus centered on one dramatic claim: the story that former President Trump allegedly lunged across the vehicle and tried to grab the steering wheel on January 6th. According to the hearing exchange, that claim wasn't based on something Hutchinson personally witnessed. Instead, prosecutors acknowledged it was second-hand testimony, meaning she said she heard it from someone else. That matters, because in court, second-hand testimony is often treated very differently from direct eyewitness evidence. Lawmakers then pointed to statements from two people who were actually inside the vehicle that day: Secret Service agent Bobby Engel and White House official Tony Ornato. According to the questioning, both disputed the steering wheel incident. And prosecutors confirmed they interviewed another first-hand witness who also did not confirm the claim. That raised a major question inside the hearing room. If the story couldn't be confirmed by people who were there, why did it become one of the most widely reported moments from the January 6 hearings? The discussion didn't stop there. Lawmakers also referenced earlier deposition remarks where prosecutors acknowledged that parts of Hutchinson's testimony were second or even third-hand information. In fact, when asked how a defense attorney might respond if she testified at trial, the answer was striking. They said a defense lawyer would likely try to block that testimony as hearsay. That's a strong legal statement, because it suggests questions about whether the testimony would meet courtroom standards. Then another claim surfaced during the exchange. According to reporting cited from a book by Washington Post journalists, prosecutors on the investigation team reportedly expressed hesitation about using Hutchinson as a trial witness at all. Lawmakers asked directly whether that reporting was accurate. The response? No final decisions had been made about which witnesses would appear in court. But the exchange highlighted something important. Hutchinson's testimony was featured prominently during a nationally televised congressional hearing and mentioned over 180 times in the committee's final report. That raises a broader question many viewers are now asking. What standards should apply when testimony is presented during major public investigations? Congressional hearings aren't criminal trials. They operate differently, but they still shape public understanding in powerful ways. And that's why debates like this one continue long after the hearings end. Because at the center of this exchange isn't just one witness. It's a larger issue. how evidence is presented, how claims are verified, and how Americans evaluate what they're told during historic investigations. United States.